Good evening and welcome to Mountain Bears. I'm Aeson Knight, and of course, with tonight is the Techie with Mostest, Techie Cubby Joe. How are you, darling?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you this evening?
Yeah, a little evil, a little mixed up, a little, I don't know, going, huh? Um, like he didn't die? How did he not, is this a new regiment for the world?
Do what?
Mansion, he decided he's
Oh,
not going to run.
I know, but hasn't he been like saying this for the last few years?
Well, yeah, but they always do that bait and switch. You know they do.
Well, this is true.
Oh,
True.
you know.
Hey,
But he's made,
Devin.
hey, Devon, he's made it official. He isn't running as senator for West Virginia. Now we just need Capito and Morrissey to, also volunteer to, you know, be adults and get a real job.
True. That would be weird. Oh, I found the Am I the Asshole for this show. All right.
This will be
Oh, this will
fun.
be a fun one.
All right.
There's a penantry to this one that's like, oh, this is gonna be fun. All
Yeah.
right, so Ohio apparently got weed and reproductive rights, says Devin.
Good. Reproductive rights is important. Weed is even more important.
I mean, though, I think someone was hedging their bets on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they don't get reproductive rights, at least they can smoke a joint about it and feel okay. Or, if they didn't get weed, at least.
Okay. So this has been my dichotomy going on over in Ohio.
Okay.
When I was in Iowa, well, still now, Columbus is the equality of. Hello, Miss Brenda. It is it's the East Coast, San Francisco is Columbus. It's
Okay.
the hub. It's got the whole 9 yards, including
Okay.
Stonewall. Like the Pride community is huge there. It has the biggest gay population on the East Coast. All of this. And then we have like Dwight as governor and Republican senators as senators. And the Republicans are crazy up there.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I was up there, it looked like, I don't know, Camp Trump. And I'm like, what is this shit? Of course, that's also where I met my first ever gay Republican. And I'm like, are you in psychological therapy? Because you should be.
No, well, I mean, there's a couple of different things that go on.
Right.
That happen in like when you talk about states and districting,
Mm-hmm.
and like how much of a state
Mm-hmm.
is a political party,
Right.
in terms of people, total population, people in a given area.
Mm-hmm.
And like how does that compare to like the percentages of totals?
Right.
Like if Columbus is very gay and Democrat,
Right.
and okay, that's a good chunk of population, but the rest of the state is Republican AF,
Uh-huh.
then you kind of have a moment there of like, this is a divided state,
Right.
because numerically it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Then we see that in districting,
Right.
that when we start drawing those maps so that one party or the other can
Right.
roll a district,
Right.
then the representation can get weird.
Right.
That it's like, even though, for instance, like, Columbus
Right.
itself may be heavily Democrat, if you
Right.
draw the districts right,
Mm-hmm.
you can stack it to where all those votes are like for one person,
Right.
like that represents one district.
Right.
even though population-wise, you're now unbalanced again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it gets weird.
It was like totally weird. So anyhow, I'm glad that they got themselves together.
Oh yeah, Devin's with you. Like, yeah, they are, Aeson, and all these dumbass hicks eat it up. I'm in hell. Yeah, I'm in Republican hell.
Yeah.
No, we believe me, we understand we're in West Virginia. There are pockets of liberal West Virginia. Like, please do not go down a deep rabbit hole with those words because it's a very shallow hole. it's like it's like when we say liberal, it's kind of not as liberal as you'd think. But it's like, okay, we think you're human and have rights. Like we'll agree on that. But then when we go down the Republican side, that's a rabbit hole.
Well, see, what I think is funny is, okay, on this street, we have two neighbors.
Oh, that had to live directly across from each other.
They do. They do. So this is how Aeson almost wrecked the car. It was a few days after Election Day, and we have had Republican mayor's mother on one side of the street who's been flying the blue and red all election season, flag and all, and it disappears because, of course,
flag,
there's a day off of Election Day.
She's had it all.
Yep. And the other side of the street is a neighbor that I think is pretty cool. Like, we have agreements. They're, we're multi-generational, both multi-generational landowners. We get along pretty good. Their dog and our dogs like each other. Everything's pretty cool. And all of a sudden I see a red and blue flag over there.
And it was like, oh
fuck.
What now? What has occurred? Like, yeah. What?
And then I read it. And it said across it in big letters, "He lost, damn it." I died. And I almost had a telephone call.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
Oh, but no. Like, there was a whole moment, like, you first saw it and just, like, about flipped.
Right.
Like, and then you read it, and it was like, okay, that's it
hilarious.
Was almost worse. Like, there was the initial reaction when it's like, oh, hell no. Like, I'm going to go over and beat his ass. What the hell?
Yeah.
And then it's the, okay, now I'm going to need him to take that down so that no one wrecks.
Yes.
Meanwhile, stop antagonizing the woman in her 90s.
Keeps her blood pressure up. Just wait till June, honey. Just wait till June. Or earlier.
Oh, this was before, this was pre-Panini. Yeah, this was 2020 when he lost. Yeah. Like, and I say pre-Panini because, like, the one neighbor had their stuff up all the way through the election, for like months before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm sure many. Yeah. Like, no, we've seen it all here because we're kind of in rural West Virginia hell, and you've debated me for years about me calling this rural. And I'm like, but it is.
I don't think it qualifies as rural anymore.
Sweetheart, we're in the city, but the county still owns our road. No, that is shit that only... Do what now?
It's a state road. It's not a county road. If it was a county road, none of this shit would have happened.
Okay. So it's a state road, which is worse. Like that's crap that only happens when you're rural.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we were totally ensconced in city limits,
Mm-hmm.
even then it's a rural city.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get like 4 stoplights before you're out.
Right.
Like you're now into the county. 4 stoplights any direction, you're pretty much in the county.
No, 4 stoplights and you're in 2 other counties.
Damn. It's worse than
you
I
can
thought.
either go 4 stoplights that way and you actually hit Raleigh County, and 4 stoplights that way and you hit Nicholas. Yes, we're in Appalachian How. Yes. We're also 20 years behind everybody.
Yes. But no, this is what I mean. Like, this is rural.
Yeah.
This is technically rural. I mean, it's closer to city, but it, like, as in, you know, it's a little more city than it is rural, but yeah, this is rural. Like, can I point out our local hospital?
All over.
Their cafeteria. They're not only is there MRI in a trailer, so's their cafeteria.
No, their cafeteria's in a camper, not a trailer.
I was trying to make it sound a little better.
No. It is a 1974 tow behind. I think it's probably, one of those Rove runners.
Like, and picture this, because it's one thing when you say it's in a trailer. Okay. Like, you envision this, and you, like, a lot of small local hospitals have like the MRI tractor trailer trailer MRI unit, and those are usually you back it up, and it's got the little doorway, and it does thick. Okay, that's the MRI experience. The cafeteria, y'all, it is sitting on cinder blocks, stacks of cinder blocks.
Mm-hmm.
It is because yeah. It is so bad. It is so bad. We basically, like, our local hospital, and we'll get to the next fun thing about them, but their cafeteria is effectively a food truck that someone parked.
Right.
Okay? When you need an X-ray in this hospital, you do not get rolled to X-ray.
Right.
They roll the portable X-ray to you.
Yes.
Like, let that sink in. When we say it is small local hospital, real emphasis on small.
Well, not only that, but like the second floor is now a nursing home.
Oh God, it gets worse. Well, I was gonna go with their ER lobby has like 5 chairs.
Well, yeah, because it's a Band-Aid station. It's literally stabilize your ass and get you out of here to a real hospital. I've had doctors tell me that.
Yeah, I mean, basically. Like, because, like, there's, like, welcome to West Virginia. There are layers of medical care. Like, like, it's tiered. Mm-hmm. We, with Plateau Medical Center, we are so far down. Like, typically, I would have called it a helipad with a Band-Aid station.
Mm-hmm.
But their helipad isn't even that good.
Well, their helipad is actually the football field.
I know. This is what I'm pointing out. It's not even really a helipad.
Right. Like, they don't have a helipad.
Like, if there's a Friday night football game and you have a traumatic injury of more than a paper cut, like, someone's going to be real mad.
No,
like,
they
you
just
have
pause
to wait
the
till
game.
halftime.
No, they just pause the game. The teams go to their sides. The cheerleaders start do their little parade things, each like a cheer off going on while the helipad lifts off. It is no big deal.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah. Um,
Oh, didn't realize until I pulled up how to get to Blackchapel, and Google actually said you can't get there from where you are. I always thought that was a joke.
yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, and that's the thing. Like, we find it hilarious. God help you use a gay app in West Virginia, like Grindr. Oh my God, the lies it tells.
Mm.
But it's one of those things you have to take into consideration. It's not potentially wrong
Right.
when it says someone is 30 miles from you.
Right.
It's just there's probably no way in hell to get that 30 miles covered in 30 miles. It's
Right.
more like an hour.
Right. But you did remind me of a review that we had to do.
Oh, okay.
Remember, I was going to review Field.
Yes.
Okay, I had better luck on OkCupid.
That's not a good review.
Okay. First of all the people are not even close. Okay. Second of all, they do not understand sexual orientation.
What?
Yeah, they matched me with like 50 people. Out of those 50 people, it asked what you're looking for. And I clearly stated gay male. I had straight men for days. It looked like a damn bar.
Oh, no.
Maybe 4 gay men.
Oh, no.
And you can't message people unless you pay. Yeah.
Oh.
You have to have a paid membership. Squirt is better.
Yeah, basically. Like, there's not much that isn't better. Like, Facebook dating is better.
Oh, please.
At
Facebook
that
dating
point,
is a fucking boring machine.
Good grief. Okay, so Field just hasn't quite made it yet.
Yeah, like I think the
If
premise is great. I think it's great for straight orientated people, but I do not think that it is for us.
Potentially. That's if it doesn't like try to like put 2 straight men together.
True.
It sounds like it just really doesn't understand.
Well, it attaches to the binary. That's it.
Okay. And it's binary. Does it even have trans options?
No.
Ew, no. Field, come on, get it together.
Right.
It's 2023. Like, you can do more.
Yeah.
Like, you can do more.
Yeah. So there's that report for the poly people wondering if Field is worth it. No, it's not.
It's definitely not worth paying for right now.
Right.
Is it inherently never going to be worth it? Never worth having a profile? Maybe not.
Maybe not.
It's a watch and see if it gets better.
Yeah, it's a watch and see. Okay, so GQ came out with a story, and I don't agree with their headline at all.
Oh, yes. So, how the one penis policy became the most hated thing in polyamory, and why it might not always be so bad. Oh, GQ. All right.
GQ, come on. First of all, the most hated thing in polyamory is the unicorn and dragon hunters.
Okay. Well, yeah, but let's go into what a one penis policy is.
Okay.
Like, I think make sure the audience understands what we're talking about here. So, one penis policy is it's very common in heterosexual poly.
Mm-hmm.
where it is effectively poly that starts as a couple that opens up. Typically, the idea is he can be with as many women as he wants to. She can be with as many women as she wants to. She cannot, however, be with other men.
Yeah.
That is the general principle of a one penis policy, is that she is not to be with another man. That only one male-female relationship exists here. Like you, in terms of her.
Right.
Yeah. Now we don't see that in as much or quite always the equivalent. It happens. You'll occasionally see that like gay side, in which it's like a one top policy. It's rare.
Right.
But one penis policy has been really prolific.
Right.
And it typically also pairs up really well with this idea of unicorn hunting.
Right.
It pairs up really well with this hierarchical relationship concept that the couple is the core, that is your primary, and everything else is secondary, tertiary, whatever to it. But the couple is the primary.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, I totally disagree with you, GQ. Unicorn and dragon hunting, i.e., we have to date the same girl or we have to date the same guy. That's much more hated in the poly community. That's much more talked about in the poly community.
It is, though. I don't know. I've seen it come up a lot in the groups, though.
Yeah.
Like forums, like you say the one penis policy phrase, and just you know what I mean? Like, it's the Instagram. It's like, oh, you don't even know what you're doing.
Right.
Like, unicorn hunting is one thing. Dragon hunting is one thing. Which, take those away real quick.
Well, I took those away. You know, unicorn hunting is dating the same girl. Dragon hunting is dating that the couple has to date the same guy. And only that guy.
Yeah, well, and it's the search for this one perfect partner.
Right.
And that's the entirety of their polyamory, is one perfect partner that they are both interested in to create a triad.
Right.
So, yeah. That's again starts getting into this, like, it feels very gatekeepy.
No.
Like, we can be poly, we just can't find the right person. We're poly, but we just can't find the right person.
Yeah, whatever. You can't find the right indignant.
You've whittled down the selection criteria to a point that this will never happen.
Right.
But we're poly.
So Swifties are on the move.
Ooh, we have
not only do they sue and Ticketmaster.
Okay.
But, you know, and that's been a very large suit on Ticketmaster. It's now moved to it's class action over some of the crap that Ticketmaster pulled with their tickets of double dipping.
So what was Ticketmaster doing?
Okay. So Ticketmaster, to control scalping. Made it to where you couldn't sell your ticket unless you sold it on their secondary market.
Okay.
Made it to where if the venues do not sign with Ticketmaster to sell the tickets, for the venue, then they couldn't get that artist in. Like, that's why, you know, like, example, we'll never see Taylor Swift at the Fayette Memorial thing because they're not part of Ticketmaster.
Oh, so they were creating exclusivity with artists. Like, you want Taylor Swift, you have to sign up with Ticketmaster, Ticketmaster is the only vendor for tickets to a Taylor Swift event.
Right.
Like, as an example.
Exactly. No, that's exactly what it is. Okay. And then, like, say we got tickets, but we couldn't go, so we wanted to either give them or sell them. We had to do it and pay a fee through Ticketmaster. So they're double dipping.
Well, now there are people who would argue that they're also trying to prevent like ticket scams, because when you're talking about an artist like Taylor Swift,
right,
and you're talking about a ticket that you can purchase digitally and potentially resell 50 times, there becomes a really lucrative opportunity to buy one ticket and scalp it 50 times and then let the venue figure it the fuck out.
Well, yeah, but do you think that they should be allowed to take 30% of the second sale?
That seems excessive. Although, again, I think Ticketmaster would sit there and argue that you could get into a situation in which, well, now, okay, I do have a question before I finish that sentence. Do they allow you to fix the price of it, or do they only allow you to resell it for what you bought it for?
No, you can sell it for whatever, but they're taking 30% of that sale.
Okay.
So, they created this, this we control everything mentality. And now they're being sued over it.
Yeah, that is really screwed up. So basically what Ticketmaster has decided is their tickets are non-transferable.
Right.
As in, you can bring a guest or you can buy tickets for someone. You can't wholesale transfer that ticket to another human.
Right.
And as in a sale. Like if you're a dad and you buy your daughter a Taylor Swift ticket, that's fine. If you buy your daughter a Taylor Swift ticket and then you want to sell that to someone else because, I don't know, your daughter died, whatever scenario, that's illegal. Like, our system rejects that. You're not the ticket purchaser. You're not who the ticket was purchased for.
Well, not only that, but they take 30% from that sale.
Right.
So they get like 30% on their first sale. Then they turn around and get 30% on the second sale.
Which is bad when you're talking about like a legitimate human being who wants to, like, I bought a ticket. I don't need the ticket. Let me just, sell it on to someone who will go enjoy the show.
Right.
And that's fine. And if you're talking about reasonable amounts in which it's like, I bought the ticket for $200, I'm selling the ticket for $200. What's the deal? Right. Again, I think that starts to get into the excessive double dipping. That's the problem side of it. Now, if you're talking about you have people sitting there the day the tickets go on sale, they buy a block of 100 for face value.
Right.
And then they want to turn around and resell those for a 1,500% markup.
Right.
Because the concert sold out in 15 minutes.
Right.
Which happens when you buy a block of tickets. Then I can be a little more comfortable with, Ticketmaster, make your money.
Right.
Because that's not what they sold.
Let's say you buy the ticket and you want to give it to Brenda to go. You still have to pay them the 30%.
Yeah. See, that's where I have a problem.
Yeah.
I think they could have designed this better for the realities of. Like, if you're just transferring the ticket to a friend.
Right.
If you're just wanting to get your money back out of it.
Right.
Then no, I don't think you need the 30%. But but the flip side of that is if you're talking about people who intentionally buy tickets just to sell them and make a profit.
Right.
then no, I don't have a problem with Ticketmaster eats 30 of that.
Right.
Because that's not what they sold. No, like the person who bought the original ticket in that scenario was never going to the show. This is how they make their money. So fine, Ticketmaster wants to take 30% of that. Let Ticketmaster take 30% of that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what was sweet of me? I'm sorry, I missed it.
To give her a Taylor Swift ticket.
Oh, like no, I don't have a problem with or more importantly, I do have a problem with the fact that Ticketmaster is pulling that stunt on the just transfer or just hey, I spent $200 on a ticket, like give me $150, we'll call it even.
Yeah, but no, $1,400 for a Taylor Swift ticket, plus the additional fees from Ticketmaster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the artist is probably making only 10% of that.
I think they need to nuance their system to attenuate for the fact that if we're talking about just normal human things, don't take the double dipped fee. But if we're talking about someone bought 100 flipping tickets, they have no desire to go see this show. They just know that other people do.
Right.
And they'll pay thousands of dollars for a ticket.
Right.
And so they bought, $2,000 worth of tickets and made 200,000.
Right. And their website could not handle the millions of Swifties trying to get tickets. When her fan club was supposed to get a code and to be pre-ordering tickets early, it wasn't even the site crashed.
Yeah, no, I mean that Ticketmaster has long had issues though.
Right.
Like it
well, and that's like Shopify. They have the same issues. Every time Jeffree Star releases makeup, the website crashes. Like that was my main decision about who I went with. Because there was a debate on whether we were going to do Shopify or WooCommerce.
Yeah.
And we went with WooCommerce because every time we see Shopify, it crashes.
Yeah. That WooCommerce is a lot more comfortable with volume. But yeah, Shopify has some benefits, I know, but yeah, it doesn't do sudden spike volume. It croaks.
Right. Well, and it's just insane. I mean, even if we look at like the Jeffree Star makeup collection and the Preta Paint collection that was released not by Jeffree Star, it was ridiculous.
All right, so now back to actual Taylor Swift. So all right, so what has she done now?
Well, she auctioned off one of her platinum records. She re-recorded her records and she's out selling them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's got some fundraising going.
Yeah, she's got some fundraising going, but she also she's changing the industry because, as we all know, she re-recorded her songs because she couldn't get the masters. They are still in debate, so she re-recorded them and are re-releasing them under her own label. They're out selling their originals.
Oh, God, love that.
Yeah, and the music industry is moving towards that.
Yeah. I think we've all gotten the business side of music recording. I think has begun this process of horrifying people.
Right.
I mean, and it happened. I think it really started to happen somewhere around the death of Michael Jackson, and we found out how much of his net worth was owning other artists' music.
Right.
I mean, brilliant investment strategy. Do not get me wrong. But the sheer volume of it.
Right.
is like, I own everybody.
Right.
If they were a top, artist, he
Right.
had bought their catalog and owned it.
Right.
And it's so that it becomes this really screwed up idea that, you could be the Beatles.
Right.
You're an amazing band. Like, my
Mhm.
God.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, we can sell billions of CDs. We're never going to see another dime.
Right.
We don't own our music.
Right.
We have a right to play it. We
Right.
can do all kinds of things with it,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't actually get the royalties.
Right.
He sold that.
Right.
Or more importantly, we never actually owned it to begin with because our representative retained it and they sold it.
Right.
In a cash grab, not knowing the future of music.
Right.
Because a lot of this happened at a point in which it didn't sound like you owned anything.
Right.
And then suddenly you did. Because
Right.
The internet.
Welcome to the internet. But, so it's, to me, well, one, the record companies are now changing the language in the contracts where you can't do that because of her doing that, because they lose the value of the property.
Mm-hmm.
But it's awesome that she's like, that's just the platinum. I've got the whatever.
It's just the master. I have the right to re-record it.
Mm-hmm.
And then use that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I hate that what she's doing is changing how the contracts are worded.
Right.
Because it means she's most likely going to be one of the last people to be able to pull it off.
Right.
But it may inspire other artists to think really long and hard before you sign that damn contract.
Right.
Because I have to say, the music industry is stuck somewhere around the same mentality of like actors and actresses, all the way back to Betty Davis and studio contracts and the abysmal language that was in those, that they were literally studio property. You're an asset. Like, we don't represent, we don't employ Betty Davis. We own her.
Right.
And just the mentality of that. I mean, not that there weren't any benefits to those contracts. There were.
Right.
You got paid regardless of whether you worked or not.
Right.
There was a general understanding the studio is going to support you, your lifestyle, and your ability to eat during that period. But then the idea that you're going to make the studio millions and never see a dime. You have no choice over what movies you're in. Studio says, go do Planet of the Apes. You go do Planet of the Apes.
Right.
You are blonde bombshell number 53.
Right. Get over it.
Get over it.
Right. And, the record labels and everything else has came out of that formula. Yeah.
Well, and that's basically how we are. Well, I mean, it's gotten a little better than that, but it's still, it's very close to that. Like, we divorced artists from their lyrics, from the actual music produced,
right,
from the royalties, from the merchandising, from like all of it.
Right.
And for a lot of artists, it means that, like, they can go play their music at an event. Like, they own the right to do that, but they may even still have to pay someone for doing that.
Yeah.
Like, because they perform their own music.
Because they don't own the rights. Well, see, and that was the big thing about, like, Backstreet Boys. You would think that Backstreet Boys and NSYNC would be rolling in the dough.
Actually, no, I wouldn't, because that was during the, like, band manufacturing era. Like, so many of those bands were manufactured. like they did basically a talent call,
Mm-hmm.
scouted a bunch of kids,
Right.
put them in a boy band, gave them a look, gave them a personality, gave them a name,
Mm-hmm.
told them what to sing, when to sing it. Like, they didn't create this music. They were handed lyrics and,
Right.
sing into this microphone.
Yeah.
It was an assembly line.
Exactly. And then, like, I think that's why we see, like, Michelle Visage still working after her career, and still, like, bumping the gigs and doing tours with, RuPaul's Drag Queens. It isn't because she likes it. It isn't because it's her passion. It's because, when she was in the girl bands, she didn't make anything. If anything, she probably got a bill.
Well, or more importantly, like this manufactured music group system,
Right.
it made a lot of people rich. Not a damn one of them was the person who got up, sang, and performed.
Right.
It was just this continuous money flow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was an assembly line, and they were widgets.
Right.
So yeah, no, I'd already seen some documentaries on that one, and on that one specifically. And it's just horrifying.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the Gary Coleman story.
Yeah, but his parents done that one.
Well, his parents did that one, but fundamentally, it's the same story. Like, he got out there, he did the work. You think, well, my God, as many shows as he was on and many years he was on television, dude's loaded, right? No, like every other child actor, his parents got the money and he got the boot.
Right.
Like, oh, sorry, you're no longer cute and adorable. You're not making movies anymore. You're not making television anymore. Like, yeet. We're done with you. But thanks for the cash.
Exactly.
Thanks for the royalties. We own that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're the ones that signed the contract because you were a minor.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I do appreciate, though, Hollywood has gone behind that. Gary Coleman, I think, was actually the impetus to that, and changed the law, so that percentages of that money has to be retained for the child, and that is inaccessible to the parents, and they receive it upon becoming an age of majority. It's either like 18 or 21. Like, it's held in trust.
Right. Which I think they need to move into doing that. Like, YouTube needs to fall into those guidelines. TikTok needs to fall into those guidelines. Sorry, there's been too many cases of stage moms and stage dads and TikTok moms and TikTok dads that just make bank.
Yeah. Well, and more importantly, it's not that your kids are an incidental part of why you're, if you are the YouTube star, you're the one people are showing up for. You are 85, 90, 95% of the content.
Mm-hmm.
And incidentally, your kids are seen on screen. Incidentally, you talk about your kids. Incidentally, to making your content. I don't have a problem with those kids not getting money. But then we go back to, like, Daddy 05, in which they were supposedly writing skits for these kids.
Right.
Like, your kids were like 85% of your content. This is what people showed up for, not you. They didn't care about you.
Right.
Like, that's different.
Right. Well, and then you have people like, for example, I don't know if you like her or not. I really don't care. Most times I'll watch it when you're in sleep anyhow. But Jane Morrell, she never shows her kids. This woman has like 13 people at her house. The most you're going to see is a hand.
Well, the baby. You see the baby.
you see the baby, but
But
not
again,
viably identifiable.
right, and that was actually who I was thinking of when I'm describing it, is
Mhm.
incidentally, you see a kid here and there,
Right,
but it's not like, hi, the spotlight's on you, do something.
right.
Hi, I'm a mother with with an infant,
Hmm.
a toddler.
Hmm.
We carry him around like footballs everywhere.
Right,
The baby's not doing anything.
right,
Like, baby is babying.
right,
And not even really being cooperative towards filmmaking at that. You
right.
know what I mean? Like, yank mommy's hair.
Yeah,
Like, stop. But otherwise, like, no,
yeah.
this isn't why people are here. You're talking about how you make this work. You're talking about your house. You're talking about meal prep. You're talking about food storage. You're talking about,
Right.
is it incidental that we see a kid, we hear a kid, we
Hmm.
see a kid's hand,
Yeah,
yeah, they're on air in that sense, but not in a like, hi, let's watch the kids.
yeah. I see more of her chickens and her pigs and her turkeys, which are getting butchered. She's getting that damn Tom this season, even with a broken hand. Um, than I do her kids, and that's even with her kids helping her out because she's had some struggles here recently. She
Mhm.
had a miscarriage, had to have some kidney problems. Now she's broke her wrist, and she's like, "This is mom stuff. This
Yeah.
is what you do."
Well, yeah, she's effectively a mommy vlogger.
Right,
And the kids are part of it,
right,
but they're not in it.
right,
Like, occasionally you see the kids for stuff.
right. But
Like,
it
there was
isn't
the one
like,
where they were doing like the fried pies, and the one daughter was just like,
"Here I
helping
am."
out and doing all the things.
Exactly.
But it wasn't like, that wasn't the content.
No.
Like, nope, she was helping.
Yep. And not even, and I don't even think that you could identify the child, which I like that style of content versus some of the other ones. We hear horror stories like Eight Passengers and those, but I don't know. Like, I don't get into those vloggers where it's just kid, 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 kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can, but like, and with J. Morel specifically, she tries to video away from her kids. She
Hmm.
tries to video while they're in other rooms or doing other
Hmm.
things or part of other
Right.
activities, or
Right.
before her day starts and everyone's up and moving. Like, she's on the back porch, she's out in her yard.
Right.
Like, she's walked away from the kids to go do video.
Right. you know and that I think is a really successful execution of family of mommy vlogging, which she doesn't. I don't think I would classify her as a mommy vlogger. I
Oh,
would classify her as a cook, because she'll show you how to do 16 meatloaves in a day, to feed 48 people.
yeah, but at the same time, the genesis of that
Right.
is her family, is the
Right.
fact that she's a mother of, I don't know, however many, what, 10, 12?
I think we're up to 8 with a grandbaby, plus a grandbaby, plus she has in-laws living with her, plus she brought her husband home.
Yeah, she retired her husband.
Right. Well, I don't know how much retirement he's got.
As in, he went from owning his own business and leaving the house every day to make money to being like, just stay home and watch the kids and collect a check.
And I need outlets here, and I need outlets here, and I need outlets here. Like, sorry, since the poor man has been home, he has had to rewire the basement to afford the freezers. He has built her the mega kitchen out of a 2-car garage, which she's going to be putting those blueprints up for sale, mister.
I mean, but here's the thing, though. Like, the most important part of her kitchen is the fact that you can run, like, 4 crock pots at the
6.
same time. Yeah,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like, it's that level, because that becomes a problem. Like, a 6-quart crock pot's great. That feeds a lot of people. She has more than a lot of people in her household. You can't just do a crock pot of soup. You have to do multiples.
Yes. And
Like,
while you're doing multiples, you measure, well, just go ahead and do 2 more and stick it in the freezer.
exactly. Like, go through the prep once, eat twice, or 3 times, or 4 times, or 6 times.
Right.
You know, whatever. And that's her general theory. And like, God knows the number of refrigerators and freezers the woman has. I didn't get for the longest time that when she was showing all the refrigerators and freezers, that was the front of her house. Like, this was her front porch, was like fridge, freezer, upright freezer, fridge. And it's just across the front of her house. And it was like, oh my God, when because you were watching the remodel, it suddenly hit me.
Yeah.
That's where her refrigerators were. You mean to tell me you drive up to this poor woman's house and it looks like a bait shop?
Yeah. Up until that's when he was remodeling the downstairs store. That's what she calls it.
Well, yeah, and then she had like a fridge fail, and then she replaced a fridge, but then she wasn't sure if she was getting, like, it was a whole thing.
Oh, it was a whole thing. Finding the fridge for the little kitchen, and then they built the mega kitchen, and they actually got the one I want.
But you get what I'm saying. I didn't realize this was all across the front of her house.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't getting it, and then all of a sudden she's showing the house repaint.
Right.
The retrim and repaint and all that. And I'm like, that was her front porch. That's like, hi, welcome Jay Morrell's bait shop.
Right.
You know? Crawdads is over there. You know, like, oh my God, that's the front of your house. Like, Jesus, you poor woman.
She does what she needs to do, honey. I mean, but you know, he was down there putting in the storehouse in the bottom of it. Where else is she going to put 8 refrigerators and 8 deep freezers?
I don't know the rest of the property. Like, somewhere, anywhere else. But no, I never caught that. Like, I remember her going through and videoing it and seeing it. Oh, okay, yeah, all the refrigerators. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah. Got it. Didn't process, like, that is the front of her house.
Yeah.
Like, that refrigerator is sitting in front of, like, a bay window at the front of her house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, done that. God, you poor woman.
Well, you know, the kitchen was getting remodeled. The downstairs was getting remodeled to handle the refrigerators because they were moving out of the garage.
Yeah, because basically until then, her garage wasn't really like for parking cars.
No.
It was like family storage, food storage, stuff storage.
Right.
Storage. So they had to do a lot of things. But no, I just remembered that moment after watching it and being like, oh God.
Yeah, I remember you getting that look on your face, and I'm like, honey, she lived that way for 4 months. Yeah. She lost a refrigerator because something didn't get closed right.
Right.
Yeah.
Or something tried to get into something, and, you know, it wasn't built for outside.
Right.
She didn't lock it.
Right. So
no, I get that. I knew it was outside, and I got that it was on a porch. I got all those parts. I just didn't get front of house.
Right.
Like, welcome to the bait shop.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Sorry, I just think bait shop with that. Like, is that just a purely West Virginia thing or not? Like, you run into those, like, let's go up to the lake. There's some house with a porch.
Mm-hmm.
that is your little store at the lake,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got like a line of refrigerators across the front of it. Like some of them are drink machines, some of them
Right.
are bait, some of them are this, and an ice machine and
Right.
like how much crap can we cram up there? And then you have to play find the door.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I like watching her. She has some really cool food preserving ideas. I'm using one of them right now for some tomatoes. Just throw them in. You
Just throw
can
them in.
process them later.
Figure it out later.
Yeah.
No, she's cool. I enjoy her. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think I don't, I do. What I don't enjoy is that your YouTube will loop.
Yeah.
And I will watch the same J. Morrell video 15 times. Oh, Devin says we have a bait shop called Fred's Got Worms, ran by my friend's kid who is in middle school and her dad. Oh,
Cool.
Fred's Got Worms.
That works. That works.
Oh, that's so cute, though.
Yeah. Well, speaking of my YouTube, you thought you were in trouble.
Oh, no. Yes, yes. Oh, my God. Dixon Dallas, I swear.
Yes. Yes.
You are obsessed.
I am. I like his music. His new one, Something to Feel, is very relatable. And he's bringing back Lavender Country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Without the, like, country western
Yeah.
sequin,
Right.
way too clean cowboy aesthetic.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. And what I'm really liking is his comment every time he gets asked this question, because, the advocate asked it. There's been some other places that have asked that he's been interviewed. And he says, my sexuality is immaterial to my music. I could be gay, I could be straight, I could be bi. At the end of the day, I feel like it doesn't matter, he said.
yes, Devin, lavender. Lavender is a weird word. That has been used to connotate like queer identity in spaces.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like, let's use lavender to represent the entirety of the
Mm-hmm.
LGBTQ rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
And it has covered everything from lavender country, which is a genre or a collection of artists that either were openly queer or were later identified as queer, and their songs took on a totally different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Then and there's also the Lavender Scare. That was a moment in political history in which McCarthyism, in addition to outing all the, Russians and, communists and everything else, went through and decided that anyone with a queer identity was a national security risk because they could be blackmailed into the control of a foreign entity. So the federal government mass fired
Mm-hmm.
anyone suspected of or hinted at or reported as queer. If you were reported as gay, ever having a gay relationship, ever having gay sex, ever engaging in anything gay, you were fired from the federal government.
Right.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this used to be a big chunk of DC specifically.
Used to be.
Well, probably still is, but it's now like it created a lot of closeting.
Mm-hmm.
Because originally what was happening, and we're talking pre-1950s, is, and this goes into queer theory a little bit. I'll get through it as quick as I can. There was this idea that's purported in queer theory that at some point a human being realizes that they are queer. And typically, if you're talking about rural persons or persons from small towns or not major metropolitan areas, there is that othering effect where you feel like you must be the only one in your area. Okay, so the idea is that as a natural thought, you figure if you move to a larger city, you have to run into someone else the same as you. So this is why you see like Miami, New York, DC, California, or San Francisco becoming these large gay meccas. Dallas, like there's many others. That these major, large, highly populated cities, there was kind of the small town exodus of people who had figured out they were queer towards these large metropolitan areas on the theory that I have to statistically run across someone like me. And they did. And DC became one of the major meccas. And our federal government at one point was mostly run by gays and lesbians and bisexuals. And that's when it used to work.
Well, and I have an opinion there on that. The Romans learned very quickly that we tend to have easier times in battle and, more dependable in battle. But no. So the term lavender gets used a lot. I'm glad to see Lavender Country making a return to the airways. And, him getting some press for this. I mean, because there's other gay or country artists out there. But his lyrics are probably the most refreshing in country that I've heard in a while. So yeah, keep going.
Yes.
Yep. Lavender hasn't been used forever, hasn't it? It hasn't been used since '73. I think that was the last Lavender Country artist.
Yeah, that would sound about right.
Patrick Hagerly.
Yeah, because the 80s got weird.
Yeah. Well, the 80s got stuck. Like, really stuck.
Well, I mean, I'm going with as a general life theory, the late 70s, early 80s, everything got kind of gay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like everything got a little gender bent and sexuality fluid. Then we slammed into the 90s and suddenly everyone like yanked back hardcore conservative machismo.
Mm-hmm.
Gender roles and all that. And then we morphed out of that, like as in there was no place in country music in the 90s for hardly anyone gay that was out.
Right.
Or was making music that was easily identifiable as, well, that's not exactly describing a heterosexual relationship, is it?
No.
Yeah, so the 90s sucked. Well, it did.
Yeah, like the 90s sucked for music in general. Like the music industry in general had a lot of problems growing.
Mm-hmm.
It became, that's also, I think, when formula music started becoming big.
Well, and then we got into the 2000s and people started crossing over.
Yeah.
And then in terms of music genres, everyone started jumping around. Like they started in country, they ended up in pop. They started in pop, but did a country song.
And made it big and made another one.
Yeah. And then when I guess
damn, that worked. Let's do it again.
Yeah. Even though their music didn't sound like country, but somehow they got lumped into country, and we don't know how that happened.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was the early 2000s, and then we get into the 2010s, and it's like, I don't know what we're listening to. Is
What
it
we
country?
like.
Is it pop? Is it R&B? We don't know. They just smack
Oh, it's
the
not
pen.
R&B.
Pardon?
It's not R&B. Like, it's not true R&B anymore.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is it turned into a melting pot of genre,
Mm-hmm.
and then we move into the 2020s, and now we're starting to see the push back into
Mm-hmm.
one, back to your genre, please.
Yeah.
You know, if it's country music, it needs to sound like country music. And
Mm-hmm.
oh, the gays are here. Like, hi and welcome.
Yeah. And like, oh, here comes the rhinestones again. Here comes the the nice outfits and the stage performances that doesn't look like you just rolled out of, I don't know, a brothel.
Well, you know, there's that. Although I don't know that you can really say so much of that with Dixon Dallas. Like he kind
No, like
of
he's not flashy.
no.
Not yet.
Well, it's not that he's not flashy. It's just that he looks a lot like, you know, many of the other, you know,
Mm-hmm.
musicians in the genre. Like
Right.
he's not standing out. He's not wearing rhinestones, and you know, like
Right.
not rocking that whole rhinestone cowboy vibe.
Right.
He's a dude who does country music that happens
Right.
to be about two dudes,
Mm-hmm. Right.
but that's about it. Like there's not, you know, like it's not like, hi, let's, you know, queer it up in here. It's not RuPaul's country music station.
Mm-mm. You know it
Like we're
isn't.
not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they never will. There'll probably be a weird resurgence at some point, and it'll get weird.
Right. Well, but we also have like Dolly now doing rock and roll, which I'm not really sure on that. Like she's done some weird things in the past, but it's like
Well,
heavy metal Dolly, really Dolly?
you know,
I
country music
guess.
though is just where she wound up.
Right.
Like, if you want to look at her at the song, the music she's done versus the genre she's in,
Mm-hmm.
personality and looks, she ended up in country.
Right.
By music, she's all over the map and always has been.
Right.
Like she does whatever she wants to, and people are like, that's cool too.
Yeah.
You know, and move on with it. Like, we don't care.
Right. And I don't know. What was it? It was last night when I was running the Glitter Bear Express. I had 99.5 on.
Yeah.
And they had the audacity to play Only in a Small Town. And I just turned it off. I'm like, crap. That's crap. I'm not listening to it.
Yeah.
Like, the dude
Try it.
doesn't even know what the fuck it is to do to live in a small town.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of sucks when we start moving hate into music.
Right.
Like, I want to have this moment where it's like, didn't we have this like, you know, 100 years ago or some shit?
Right.
Because rock and roll went through that, country and
Right.
not country, rhythm and blues went through that.
Mm-hmm.
In which we tried to segregate music,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't work. It was a real bad idea.
Yeah.
And you know, like, why are we
Well,
doing this again? And then you look at the people doing it, and it's like, oh yeah, y'all were asleep through this.
not only were they asleep through this, but they're only doing this to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not, and this is my thing, and this is what gets me. There are some music that, and this is why, like, I'm listening to a lot of indie artists right now. But there's like music that was only wrote to sell.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they have no freaking clue what the words are. They don't even know what they're saying. Like, they're
Don't
just
care.
writing to, don't care.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Like, and it kind of goes back to that, you know, 90s manufactured band.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've applied that throughout music.
Right.
Like, find a dude who looks like the genre, find a girl who looks like the genre,
Mm-hmm.
and her lyrics,
Mm-hmm.
hire a voice coach, auto tune it to hell.
Right.
You know, we've run this through an algorithm, and this is, by God, what's going to be the next hit.
Right.
So show up and sing.
Right. I just wish Jason Aldean would have done better. Because that song could have been taken in just so many different levels.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, most of where they screwed up was the video, because the actual song
Right.
does it, like, you could take it a few different ways.
Right.
But once you throw the music video in, it's real clear what we're talking about.
Once you throw the music video in, it's trash.
Yeah.
Get it off my radio, 99.5.
Yeah. But technically, but not for the music video.
Mm-hmm.
But not for the video.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been a very popular hit across a lot of people.
Right.
Like it could, like, you could have had the gays singing along, you could have had everybody singing along,
Mm-hmm.
joy, music, and happiness. But the video killed it.
Right.
Because there's a fair number of songs that have interpretability.
Right.
Like, he had plausible deniability of what the lyrics were about until the video was made.
Right.
And then it's like, nope, there's no other way to interpret that now.
Right.
It's a hate anthem.
Right.
So there was that.
Yeah. All right. So let's hop over and do some poly advice.
All right. Oh, did I not send?
You sent. Oh, sorry. Are you the asshole? There
Okay. I'm sorry, I got confused there. Am I the asshole? I wrote vacuum playroom on a chore list and got annoyed at my partner for not picking up toys and books and just vacuuming around these items. He says if I wanted him to pick items up, it should have been on the list before vacuuming. I, 34 female, and my partner, John, 34 male, have a child, 4. We recently became friends with a family with a child the same age. This other couple have had us over for 2 family hangouts / dinner, and this past weekend, we were able to host them. Some background. For years now, whenever we are having people over or the apartment has gotten very messy, I will write a chore list. I don't assign things for myself or John to do, but I do need to call attention to the list and say these things need to be done before people arrive if we want to look like people that live in a clean home, and it's both our responsibility. On to the recent interaction. I had written vacuum playroom on the chore list. John at some point crossed it off, as well as several other chores on the list. I had to put some toys in there and saw there were toys and books and craft supplies all over the floor. I spoke to John about it, and I was speaking in an annoyed tone. I said he did not complete this task and that vacuuming without cleaning the floor is half-assed. He says if I wanted him to pick stuff up off the floor before vacuuming, it should have been a separate item on the list. I said that's ridiculous. He said I didn't have to be an asshole about this. So, am I an asshole? I mean, part of me wants to get called to the logic side. Part of me wants to get called to the logic side. You didn't ask me to pick up the toys and the books and the crap. You asked me to vacuum. But even I have to say, as much as I'm normally a logic person, dude, you have to pick up before you vacuum. It's part of vacuuming. You can't vacuum a floor with crap in it.
Not only that, but you will ruin the vacuum.
Yeah, because the number of things you end up picking up incidentally.
Mm-hmm.
You really have to like pick shit up before you run a vacuum. You can't just go in there all willy-nilly and shove crap out of the way with the vacuum. You destroy the vacuum.
Well, that's like when people clean. How the hell do you know you cleaned unless you move stuff?
I'll go one step further. How do you clean a tub with a child in it?
Yeah.
You don't. You know what I mean? It's one of those like it's like cleaning the sink and you left the dirty dishes in it.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the idea. You think you clean the sink, but how?
Right.
How do you think if there's a stack of dirty dishes in the sink while you're cleaning it that you have in fact cleaned the sink?
Right.
You have not.
No. But John, you're an asshole. You were half-assing it to begin with. You should not have crossed it off the list. And it wasn't like it was assigned to you. This isn't your daily chore, and you're just trying to phone it in. And here she is trying to have a good friendship with some people, and you're acting like a moron.
Yeah. And I think at 34, he needs to grow the fuck up and learn how to clean. So OP, not the asshole in my opinion.
No.
Not at all. This was a perfectly reasonable request that he loopholed his way out of.
Yeah. All right. So I will get the poll up for everyone else to vote your opinion. Of course, it's over on Aeson Night.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Move on to poly advice while I get this up.
All right. Healthy advice needed. So I, male, non-binary, 30, am in an amazing poly relationship with my nesting partner, female, 34. And overall, things have been pretty great. We tried the throuple thing at first and it didn't work out too well, mainly because of the third person and how they tried to treat and use us. But since then, we've been doing more separate dating in a kitchen table poly type way because we want our partners to be our friends as well. Overall, it's been pretty good. I've had one other partner. She's had a couple, none of them really sticking for us. But hey, that's dating. And I guess this is where my problem comes in because typical per dating, there's obviously tons of dudes throwing themselves at women, whereas a non-binary dude myself, not a lot of ladies are throwing any lines back. And it just sucks because when my partner is finding new people, I am genuinely super happy for her, especially if she gets into that giddy level of, wow, this person really actually really cool. I'm not jealous or worried about her leaving or anything like that. It just also makes me a little sad at the same time because I can't really find anybody to talk to, especially here in Indiana. I'm literally extended all of my dating profiles reach to be like 100 miles from home. And it's like I've literally ran out of people to swipe on. And now all they do is throw people at me from around the world. That's why I guess the advice I'm asking for is how can I, in a healthy way, handle these emotions? Because again, I'm feeling both super happy for her while a little sad for myself at the same time. And is there a better way to find people? Because I'm in poly Facebook groups. I look a little bit on the poly subreddit or poly Reddit stuff. I'm on OkCupid, Tinder, Facebook dating, and still can't even find somebody to just have a nice chat with, let alone get to know and go further. Any advice would be appreciated, and I apologize. I know this kind of ran long and could possibly be under vent as well.
All right, my advice: go do things you're interested in. Get off the app. Go get involved in something. You'll be surprised who you meet there. And I'm not talking like poly for legalists. That you shouldn't have marriage or some other poly-based group, just go get involved. Hit up the pride community, hit up, the other communities where your energy could be used, and you're more likely to meet people.
Yes. I can definitely go for that one. I think sometimes it also comes into play. We're still new to the world of non-binary.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not that non-binary hasn't been an option for a while. It has been. I think there's a fair number of people that, having not thought about gender binary or not spent a lot of time with the concept,
right,
don't inherently know that they are attracted to non-binary people.
Right.
To even begin to add that to who they're looking for.
Right.
And I think it feels like you've swiped on everyone that could possibly be interested in you in your area, and now you're just out thrown to the world.
Right.
I don't think that's true. I think you have to accept that, to an extent, being non-binary unfortunately becomes part of the problem.
Right.
Not because it's a bad thing, not because there's something wrong with you, not because people hate you, because I think a lot of people never have stopped to question the gender binary and whether or not they are attracted to non-binary people and therefore have not considered it. It's easier.
Right.
It's just easier to only be attracted to men, to only be attracted to women, or to go out there and be like, I'm attracted to, like, I'm bisexual. Versus actually thinking about the gender or lack thereof of your partner and whether they participate in the binary expression of gender. I think there's more people out there for you to meet. I just don't think that they have made the selections necessary.
Right.
So keep saying hi to people you're into without necessarily caring what they've selected.
Right.
That would be my advice, is take some chances on it. Say hi to people who may not have selected non-binary people. You might be surprised.
Well, not only that, but also, again, you've got to get out and get active. You can't just sit there on the app hoping for things to happen.
True.
True.
Apps aren't.
Go to a MILF. You're in Minnesota. There are a lot of things going on in Minnesota. Go do them.
Indiana.
Okay. For some reason, he posted in a Minnesota forum.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. Maybe he's right there on the border. We're not the only state that has a geological issue.
True.
There is that. So there's a lot you can do. There's a lot you can get involved in. But, I think that we've gotten out of the pattern of hunting. And I mean actually going out, getting involved. Example, I like to go camping. If I'm desperately looking for someone else, I should be going camping. And get into camping groups. Before I go, well, there isn't any glamour bears out there. No.
Well, that's not true. Or anyone into glamour bears, or anyone, like you, or no one's into poly people. It's easy to get stuck that this thing is what the problem is, and it's like, no, it is, but it isn't.
Right. And the other thing is the jealousy going on. Well, she's meeting people, but I'm not. Really? Really? You're mad because your wife is more popular than you are, but she's also probably talking. And she's probably also took time to invest in a profile.
Well, but then I know Polyam also makes the point, because that's come up in one of their videos, is that feeling of like, well, you're meeting all these people are talking to you, and then you see who shows up.
Right.
And
Yeah,
it's
because
like, oh, never mind. Like, if that's what approached me, never mind. I'm good over here. Thanks.
honey, we went through that.
Mm-hmm.
Polyam fam done it, but we lived that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've gone through that. Like, because he'll get hit on, and I've made the joke, like, what am I, chopped liver? Like, he opens an app anywhere, and it's just like jackpot city, just ding 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 ding. It goes crazy. I'm sitting over here, and it's like, I'm lucky if the bots find me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what am I, chopped liver? And then I see the people that talk to him, and it's like, oh, Jesus. Oh, never mind. Never mind. If that's the popularity of this area, I don't want to be popular.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's like, bad. Like, gee, woo. Like, there's some missing links here.
Missing links, art, regular relics from the Stone
Like,
Age
your
still
family
hanging
tree
around
doesn't fork. There is
for
chlorine
10
in your gene
generations.
pool. Someone peed in your gene pool. Like,
Yeah.
that's sort of like, and it's like, never mind. If that's the cost of popularity in this area, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, because he would get mad, and I'm like, here, you deal with them.
It's like, I don't know how to begin dealing with them without going, I think I spotted 4 Bigfoots.
Yes, in Withville, Virginia, there are at least 4 Bigfoots.
Like, whew. That is an interesting selection of human beings right there. Like, wow. Like, and I'm not just trying to say physically unattractive. I mean, like, some of the stuff on their profiles was just all personality unattractive. Some of it is the messages they sent, which were like, "Oh, I need a shower." Like, it wasn't like, "Hey, how's it going? Welcome to our area. Would you like to, No, 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 no. It's just like some really rough messages. Like, does anyone say yes?
Yeah.
Like, like, if you ever wanted to message someone back when you're on a dating app and just be like, has anyone ever gotten this message from you and been like, yes, that sounds great. Let's do that.
Right.
Like, who
Why?
possibly responds to this?
Yeah.
Ever. Just ever.
And it's like, what the hell? Which, that leads us into a very quick topic on dating profiles. Fucking fill them out.
It helps.
Please. Don't be going, well, I can't find no one when your profile is blank. When your picture is a picture of, I don't know, a rock.
Yeah.
No one's looking to date a rock.
Or it's that weird random, like, the ones I hate are people who use pictures of, arguably, of themselves. I don't know. Maybe it's a weird random thing they found online or whatever. But they do like I'm going to grab this quadrant of my face. You can look at my eye and my eye socket.
Right.
Do you know how weird that is? Like, that's really weird if that's your only profile picture.
Right.
Like, that's kind of, no.
Like, how do you even make connection on that?
Yes.
Blank profiles, badly written profiles, and I'm not talking grammar. I'm talking totally just badly wrote. You know, beach is spelled wrong.
I'll give people misspelling, but when it's just like, is anyone on here looking? I know no one's going to reply to me. Like, dude, you sound like you have issues, buddy. Like, you're, like, not interested already.
Tangent on this one. Say hi.
Yeah.
Have a actual conversation.
Have something to ask.
Yeah.
Please ask something.
Yeah.
I don't mean like ask for money or like that's not what I mean. I mean like here's how this typically goes and fails. Hi, how are you? Good. You? We never speak again.
Well, that's in debate. That would be nice to get that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm fine with the opener. It's just if no one has a next, or like someone gives a next and then you don't reply, like, how do you expect to meet people?
Well, but my side of that, I don't need to know how many vertebrae you need cracked.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah. I just mean though, like you have people that jump the gun.
Yeah.
Like
it would probably otherwise, if they came in there like normal human beings instead of animals, probably would at least get a cup of coffee. At minimum. Like, hold a human conversation.
Yeah, because yours jumps. Yours, like, people jump to sex way too quick.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, hi, here's my room number.
Yeah.
Whoa, buddy, back it up.
Back it up. Like, first of all, you have no face. You either have a chest or a torso. You have no face. I don't know if you've been hit by an ugly stick or a car.
Or you're afraid your wife will find you.
Exactly.
Like, it's gotta be one of the three.
Yeah.
It's always one of the three. Either, like everything but a face means everything but a face.
And
it means you're cheating and don't want to get caught because this is not open, this is not poly, this is not anything ethical.
Right.
You're just out and out cheating.
Right. Or, it's blank and you blow my damn phone up without even sending pictures. And then when asked for pictures, oh, I don't send them, I'm discreet. This is 2020 damn 3.
Well, now there's one that's worse that you hate even more. I can't believe you didn't lead with that one, though. Dick pic, whole pic, dick pic.
Okay.
I told you hated it more. Oh my God, you want to see him go through a roof. Start the conversation with nothing but pics.
Well, again, there's a time and a place for pics. However, there are some things that should never be pictured unless it's by your proctologist. Okay? First of all, nobody likes that picture. Nobody.
I mean,
how do you even take that picture is beyond me. But again, but at least say fucking hi or create an album and just unlock the album. Stop blowing up people's devices.
Yes.
You look too damn eager.
Yeah. Especially if you don't say anything.
Yeah.
Nothing. No words exchanged. Just picture, 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 picture.
Picture, 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 picture. Oh, more pictures.
Yes. Emoticon.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Right.
Like that one. Oh, you want to see him get mad?
You
Oh.
want to see me use my block button? Ooh. Like, I am a pro at this point on blocking people.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I have thought about paying for the subscription to Grindr to give me more blocks.
Yeah. Well, it's basically like the all pick, no words.
Mm-hmm.
Like you find wanna fuck a better conversation starter than the all picks, no words.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. You know, at least with that, it's like, well, maybe what else you got?
Like, do you have a personality?
Do you have a menu? Like, if I'm ordering off the menu, what do you have? What's the options? You know, is it sushi? Is there some tamale there? You know, is there some rare rabbit? What the hell?
No limits.
You know, I'm going to one of these days take one of those boys up on that option. They'll catch me in a minute and I'll go, oh, no limits. Okay, I'll get the barbed wire and come over.
But it's how that goes. So many times when they start with the like solicitation message,
right?
It is immediately like you because you try to like I will give you a shot to form a sentence.
Right.
And so you will type something out. I don't know. I might be interested. Like, what are you into? Like, you go down that route with them. And without fail, the next thing they say is no limits.
Mm-hmm.
Every time. And you're like, oh. So, and then it's a coin toss. Either he does that, like, blown up tea kettle, like, head shake that he did a minute ago. Mm-hmm. Because y'all saw it, didn't you? Like he just he does that, or he decides to have fun with it.
Yeah.
And he will create this elaborate scene that is like, I mean, like 50 Shades of Grey knows nothing. Yeah. This is so far beyond that. It's sort of like 50 Shades of Grey and Law and Order SVU had a baby. Okay? I mean, things that like, oh my God, nobody does that.
Hey, Google, stop.
But like, that's what he sends them and sees how fast they'll block him.
I'm stopping any alarms and timers that are ringing on your smart home devices.
All right, guys, that is the alarm. Let's see what the poll has to say. 100% no, you are not the asshole.
Wow, surprise there.
John, you cannot vacuum. You may even get put on to car duties at this point.
More importantly, stop finding loopholes, start helping your wife.
Exactly. All right. Well, guys, we will be back on Friday at 8 p.m. for Psychic the Plans.
Sunday,
yes.
All right, so of course we want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, Tracy Van, Caitlin Bell, and Devin. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become a Patreon sponsor and receive all the wonderful benefits our baristas receive, please visit us at pcspnetwork.com.
Yes. Good night, y'all.
Good night.